Hello, welcome back to Moonbeam Manor. Today I'm going to be trying to repair these blow molds of Santa and Frosty. They've been in my family since the late 70s, and Santa Claus here just looks like he needs a pretty good repaint. It's got a break there that I got to fix. But for the most part, it's just a cosmetic thing for Santa here. Frosty, on the other hand, is going to require a bit of work. As you see, he's got a big hole in his gloved hand here, and plus there's like close to half his hat is broken, and he'll need a repaint. So he's going to be a little bit more challenging. But yeah, that's what we're going to do today. I think today I'm just going to focus on really doing the Santa because that's going to be the easiest one. So stay tuned, and we're going to get started on that. All right, starting with Santa, we're going to take his light out. First thing we're going to do is just remove the light. So we can get a cup or something to put this in. And of course, I don't have any cups lying around. So just put it right here for now. We'll just take this little thing out of him. This thing right here. I'm going to see if it still works. Sorry, my plug's over here. Yeah, the light still works, so that's fine. And now we're going to see if we can fix this little problem here. All right, in order to fix this little space here in the hand, I'm going to be using some small cable ties, this moldable plastic. What you do is that you put this in some hot water, it becomes a thing that you can kind of mold around in your hand and stuff. And I cannot find my hot knife, but we're going to try something else because I'll need to put where these cracks are. In order to get them together, to stay together, I need to put holes in this. So we're going to try this little number. Probably a good idea for you to keep like a sponge or a rag around to kind of cool this off and clean the plastic off of it. See if that works. Yeah, that just kind of melted right through there. I'll try it right here. Yeah, that melted through. So I got those holes there. And now, this little zip tie here, I'm going to come in through the back. Try to find where I put that hole at. Okay, there's it. Okay, I got it through that hole. loop it back into this hole. And then behind here, we're going to try to get both hands back here and zip it through. I might have to rethink this. Yeah, it's going to be a little easier for me to do it on the outside. Well, I'm sure it can be done. I just can't, on the inside, I just can't get both hands in there and see what I'm doing. Yeah, after several minutes, almost an hour of trying, probably actually more like 15 minutes, but I was not able to get it looped through there, so I had to... Okay, mistakes were made. I guess that shows you how not to do this. Alright, there's another crack over here I'm going to try to fix over here using that method, and then I'm just going to use the plastic to kind of cover that hole. Alright. Stick this through here. Now you do have to be kind of careful with these things because they are very brittle. Like I said, these things have been around in my family since the 70s. Late 70s at least, but we can just get it. Yeah, we were having a little bit of difficulty finding. There we go. Through there. Loop it through here. And that's pretty tight there. And I will go through with a pair of scissors and cut this excess off. And please forgive my videos. I'm still trying to learn how to edit videos. And maybe someday you won't have to sit through all this. We just keep chugging along. Come on, this should have been a lot easier. There we go. Try to get those together. Okay. And now we just get some scissors, which I'm just going to use my Swiss Army knife since that's what I have on me at the time. Just going to snap those off. Alright, got that fixed to an extent. I just got to fill these holes up. Actually, I think I need to go ahead and put these two together. So we'll do that right quick. Okay, now I'm going to try to mold this stuff. I got some hot water here and these beads, these Betanol moldable plastic, and we're going to try to see what we can do here. Maybe a little bit more hot water in here. As you can see, you can start molding this. Now, I have never used this stuff before, so I don't really know much about what I'm doing. Start molding it. Leave it there for a few minutes, and we're going to turn around and we're going to focus on that hand there. This hole's right here, and we're going to see how well this stuff will work. And keep molding it. I think I actually need to have hotter water, but I don't have anything out here that will do that. Okay, we're going to come in over on this side, put it in there, and we're going to try to smooth it out a bit. Like I said, I've never done this before. Sounds like I'm doing more damage than I am fixing, but we'll see. I've got a feeling I should be doing a bit more kneading than what I'm doing. I think I should have the water really hotter than the way I have it. So that this would get because this is not working the way it should. It should be a lot more smoother or something. At least I think it should be smoother. We'll try another trick in a second. Okay, I found my heat gun. We're going to try to see if this might work a bit. Try to get it a bit more pliable. See if that worked. Oh yeah, that worked a lot better. That tells me I should have had the water hotter. As you can see, it's becoming a lot more clear. It's also softened the blow mold plastic, so you need to be careful with that, but like I said, this is a learning thing for me too. It gets a little warm, so now would be the time to tell you, kids, if you're going to do this, make sure you have a parent with you. Oh yeah, that's working much better. Get to smooth it out a bit. Okay, then when that dries, it'll harden and it'll be somewhat fixed, and we can start painting. Okay, we're going to start doing some painting now. I'm probably going to start with the red. So we got to tape up a lot of this. And don't worry, I'm not going to make you watch me tape up all this. A lot of different colors on this Santa Claus, and Also, if you're going to be doing this, I would highly suggest taking a lot of pictures in case you want to get the colors right. I'm not sure if you can tell from there, but this plastic that I put on has solidified, is holding on very well. I hope I can do the same for Frosty. Frosty's going to be a challenge. This will not be my first time painting something like this. I did try to fix Frosty a few years ago. Had it looking really good, and then he got knocked over and caused all those holes that you've seen. Now, if you're wondering why I'm showing you all this right here that I'm doing, like I said, I'm not going to make you watch me tape up all of Santa here. I'm going to show you another little trick that I do. I just realized that nearly 50 years of this being in my family, that Santa's hand is supposed to be flesh color. I always thought he had white gloves, but I'm sitting here, I could see the details for the fingernails. These are the little things you discover. First I ever noticed that. Actually, all that needs to be. Santa, you're a problem. Really, I never noticed how much detail went into these things. All right, we're going to pause the video here. Okay, for my next little trick, I'm just going to use a regular shopping bag. Now, you can probably use like newspaper or anything like newspaper, but I don't have any newspaper available. And we're going to try this. First of all, we're going to get this out. Yeah, that ought to work. Turn it around a bit. And then what we'll do, because Santa's hat needs to get painted, we're going to cut some of the plastic off. There we go. And we're going to see how well we can tape up Santa's head, face and head. Well, that wasn't smart. Oh, that's a ruined piece of tape. This one. Tape not holding very well there. Let's try to get it, tape it to something to get a better grip. Okay. Get a little bit more tape here. There's a leaf here. I assume a mistletoe that needs to be taped up on his hair, on his hat. All right, I'm gonna pause it again. I'm gonna get this whole thing taped up and we're gonna see about painting. All right, I've got an old Santa Claus all taped up and ready for paint. Now I'm using this Rust-Oleum red gloss, apple red gloss color. All right, let's see how this works. Try to get a nice even coat on it. I probably should have painted him with a primer first, but I didn't think about that. You know what they say, hindsight's 20/20. All right, that's a good first coat. Just a little bit more. I see some spots that I missed. All right, we'll give that maybe a couple of hours to dry and maybe come back and hit it with a second coat, and then we'll take everything off, all the tape. All right, see you then. Okay, I think the paint has dried on Santa. So we're going to start peeling off the tape. See how this is going to look. Now, I am being kind of careful with this. Well, maybe not as careful as I thought, because I don't know how much the paint has dried. Guess that's a better face. Sure, yeah. There's my dog barking at something. I got a little bit of red on his beard here, but we'll fix that. Okay, seems to be turning out pretty good. All right, here we go. We got all the tape and plastic off of Santa Claus. So now we're going to actually move him back into the shop and continue painting. I'll see sometime I have to go get some more paint at the store because I don't think I have any gold paint, which looks like the ribbons are supposed to be gold. And it looks like a horn here, trombone or something, that probably should be gold. So we're going to take this back into the shop now and continue painting what we can. I'm going to be probably using a brush for the rest of it. So yeah, let's get this moved back into the shop and do some more work. All right, we got Santa moved into the workshop now, and we're going to start doing a little bit of painting. I got to get to my brushes. I apologize for the mess. I've got other projects and stuff that I'm working on. All right, first thing we're going to start with is trying to get these, I think it's a mistletoe, painted up. And I got these acrylic paints that I'm using. So we're going to start with the cherries or whatever those things are up there. I don't know, what is the fruit, or what are those things called on a mistletoe? They're not edible, I know that. All right. Get this paintbrush cleaned off. I'm going to add some greenery. Oh, and as it turned out, I did have some like gold colored acrylic paint. I am not Bob Ross. So I'm not going to tell you to paint happy little trees. one thing that's kind of fun about doing this, and probably really any restoration you might do, is that as you work on it, you slowly see this thing coming back to life. I mean, look at that. I don't know how well you can see it, but it's looking a lot better. Okay. Now comes the flesh color. I'm getting a bigger brush. Okay. Now let's see how well this is going to go. I hope my head's not in the way. Here's a fun fact. Did you know that Santa Claus originally wore green? It wasn't until Coca-Cola advertised him in red that he started wearing the red suit. one of the great things about acrylic paint is that it's easy to clean up if you put it in places you don't quite want it. Get a little water on here. You can see I got some on his beard or on his mustache here. Just a little bit of water and a paper towel. It comes right up. There we go. Let's get a little bit more on his nose here. And we'll get some on his lip. All right, now we're going to paint the hands. Before I do that, I'm going to use my smaller brush and kind of get up in this corner here. I think I may have had a little too much green in there. Let's get this washed off very well. And now we'll get that flesh color up in there. Looking pretty good. Now we're going to see what we can do with these hands. Like I said earlier, I think Santa Claus usually wears gloves, but I'm not sure how well you can see the details of the fingernails in there, so I'm going with a flesh color for his hands. All right, once again, I got to get a paper towel. Put some water in there. Some of that up. I hope you're seeing this. You're not just looking at the back of my head. All right, there's Santa Claus painted again. Got all the flesh on there. All right. How's that looking, folks? I think it's coming out pretty good. And I'm going to pause it and wait for this much of it to dry and come back with it with something else. All right, I've gone and put some gold on it. I'm not sure how well you can tell, but there's some gold on the ribbon on the package he's holding, gold on the belt buckle, and some of the toys he's got in his sack. I've done. Now I'm getting ready to see what I can do as far as the eyes are concerned. I got some blue acrylic paint here. My dog's barking. All right, let's see what I can do with the eyes. Yeah. I don't have the steadiest of hands, but hey, I don't think that looks bad at all. I'm gonna have to go see what my dog's barking at. So we get some of the blue off of it. Well, that looks pretty good. And we'll do a couple of the. Hold on, I'm gonna go see what my dog's barking at. Just some people out walking their dog, buddy. It's okay. Somebody was out walking their dog, so my dog had to think he had to bark at him. Well, I just ducked something over. Really wanted to put some color into this. I'm not sure what the original colors were, but I'm really kind of wanting to put some color into it. Now, in some cases, I'm not going to really worry about going outside the line here, because if you see it, you're going to see it from the street. Get another paper towel. I think we're going to go with a red ball. I'm trying to get some of this blue paint off of here. Like I said, I'm not too concerned about it. But I do want it to look nice. Okay, now let's get some more red. All right, we're going to have to do this a little bit differently. I think my red acrylic paint is starting to dry up. All right, I'm getting ready to pause the video. I don't think you want to see me doing this. We'll come back when the painting's done. And all right, here we go. Kind of finished painting now. Just gotta wait for him to dry, and then I'll probably spray him with a protective coat of enamel or something, and he'll be going back out of the yard. Hope you enjoyed the video, and have a Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays.